Rebecca at Wendy Branch's farm. So today is part 2 of our seed video. I have a lot of things to show you and a lot of things to go over. So we'll just jump right in and get started. Jump right into my seed box. This is the organizer that I bought at Hobby Lobby. And this is what I have the majority of my seeds in right now. So I still have flower seeds that have not came in yet. So I suppose there'll be a part 3 of this seed video because I have some of the flowers, but I don't have all of them. So let's jump right into this box and go ahead and start with it. Today I went to Shirley's Feed here in Commerce and picked up okra. This is from Burpee. It is Clemson Spineless. I got this last year and it produced like you cannot imagine. It was crazy how much okra that we got from these plants. So I wanted to be sure that I bought the same one this year. Mark is not a fan of okra, but this year we're doing things a little bit differently. And I'm the only one in the house that eats okra. I wanted to pick up the same brand that I had last year because this did really good for us. And I picked this up at Shirley's Feed, and that's over in the little town of Commerce. Okay, so this is my bell pepper box. I have 4 packs of Grand Bell Mix. Grand Bell Mix peppers. These came from Dollar Tree. I didn't grow these last year. I only grew the green ones. So I have 4 packs of California Wonder. And I got these at the Dollar Tree as well. That's for the bell peppers. This is my black-eyed peas. They are in little glass jars. We grew black-eyed peas last year. And we bought the seed from Shirley's Feed. And we had black-eyed peas. I can't even tell you how many black-eyed peas. I canned Hoppin' John. We have plain black-eyed peas. We have dried black-eyed peas. And we gave probably about a half a gallon of seed to one of our kids. So we got a huge harvest off of these black-eyed peas last year. So these are some of the seeds that we saved from last year. Okay, I have cantaloupe. These seeds are from Burpee. They're called Hearts of Gold. These are a different variety than we planted last year because the cantaloupe last year got about as big as, I guess a large grapefruit. And they tasted good right in the beginning of summer when they first started coming in. But then after that, they started getting really soft and yuck. So I wanted to try a different variety this year, and so we're going with a Burpee seed that is Hearts of Gold. So we'll see how well that does. Okay, next we have carrots. Our carrots are actually in the garden now. These are American seeds, so I know that they came from Dollar Tree. This is just what I have left in this pack. I think I have I've got one 50-foot row of carrots planted right now in the garden. This is our corn. Last year I bought corn from Shirley's Feed and it did not turn out the way we wanted it to. It could have been an area in the garden where the drainage was bad. I don't know if that's what the problem was, but I wanted to change the area of the garden where the corn is planted this time, and also change the seed and the company that we are getting our corn from. Last year we grew Silver Queen, and we bought that by the pound at Shirley's Feed, and we are not going to do that this year. So this is Stowell Evergreen corn. This is a really sweet corn, and we got this from M.I. Gardener. Okay. Cucumber. These are the same cucumbers that we grew last year, and we are overrun with pickles and cucumbers, and honestly thought the cucumber plant was never going to die back. It was crazy. So I have the same two varieties that we had last year that we're going to grow again this year. We have Straight 8, and this came from Dollar Tree. These are the ones that I grew last year. Same brand, or same variety. And then this is Bush Champion. These are from Burpee. And we also grew these last year. And they did excellent. So we are going to plant the same two varieties from the same two companies again this year. Okay, we have green beans. So last year our green beans never really did anything. We bought the seeds from, who did we buy the seeds from? I think we bought them at Tractor Supply. And I don't remember the name of the seed company. It was a seed company I'd never heard of before. But anyway, so these are Gourmet Blend Garden Beans. They are bush snap beans. So we are going to try to put these, like the corn, in a different area in the garden, and plant a different variety and a different brand bean. Because, you know, last year was just trial and error, and we found out that a lot of things that we really wanted to work did not work. And so we're switching things up and trying to do better this year. So this is from Burpee. It's Garden Bean Gourmet Blend. Okay. Next up is lettuce. Next up is the lettuce. I have 3 different types of lettuce. These two came from the Dollar Tree. One is heirloom variety, Paris Island, and one is Grand Rapids leaf. So I have not had any experience growing either one of these. They both came from the Dollar Tree, but I am going to plant these. And then I have 2 from Burpee, 2 lettuce, 2 different, or 2 of the same. Loose leaf blend lettuce. These are from Burpee, and we picked these up at Tractor Supply. They're the same. Both of those are the same. Okay, so that's the lettuce that we have. Next we have loofah. I bought 1 pack of loofah seeds on Amazon last year, and it came with 5 seeds in the pack. And this is what we are left with from those 5 little loofah seeds. This is how much loofah seeds that we have. So from those 5 seeds, I have 100 seeds in each in each little glass vial. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 4 that are full, so those would be 100. So I have 400 and this little one that's half full. I intend to plant probably 200, and the reason why is because I want to make soap, and I want to use the loofahs to pour the soap into, so you have a scrubby for the shower with a loofah with some type of homemade soap. And then also I can make scrubbers for the kitchen and have some soap in those as well. So I'm probably going to plant 2 of these, which will be 200 plants. That seems like a lot, and it is an aggressive vine. It literally took over our fence. But I don't know how saving loofah seeds goes when you plant them the next time, if they germinate well or whatever, and I want to make sure that I have plenty of loofah, so I'm going to plant 200 of them, and they take quite a while to grow. So that's that. Now we have onions. I bought that seed pack. I don't know if you watched our video on the onions and garlic and some of the brassicas that we've planted, but I still have onions here from those seeds. I still have onions from that order. These came from, where did they come from? It says homegrown. Homegrown, I guess, is the name of the company. I have to go back and look. But I ordered a pack online, and it was a variety of all different kinds of onions. So I can tell you that what we have right now that we are growing is red burgundy. Let me look on my calendar. So we have red burgundy, a sweet yellow onion, a white onion, and then we have Walla Walla onions. So those are the ones that we have right now. I am going to plant these bunching onions. I got these at the Dollar Tree. We grew them last year and they grew perfectly fine. It's called White Lisbon bunching onion, and we picked that up at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to plant those again. I wanted to make sure that I had enough onion. We have a lot of onions planted out there, so we have 4 50-foot rows, but the reason why is because when the peppers and onions start coming in, I want to be able to chop those up, vacuum seal them in our food saver bags, and have them on hand in the freezer for fajitas or for recipes or whatever. And I wanted to make sure that we had enough for fresh eating because we love salads, so I wanted to make sure I had enough for that. Next is spinach. We grew this spinach last year. It's called Bloomsdale Longstanding. It did really well, so we're going to grow that again this year. Next up is squash. Okay, so last year on the squash, we had yellow summer squash. And again, it could have been where it was planted, but in the beginning of the season when the harvest just started coming in really heavy, our squash plants got overtaken by squash bugs, and we ordered neem oil, and we were out there spraying and picking those off and doing all the things, and we didn't get a huge harvest like we really wanted to have, so we could put up a lot of squash and can some and have fresh eating. So I ordered squash from Mi Gardener, Early Prolific Straight Neck. I ordered these from Mi Gardener, and I got quite a bit of these. And then I picked up a Burpee Summer Squash Fort Knox Hybrid. I've not grown these either. I wanted to change up. Anything that gave me an issue last year is not coming back this year, because I'm not about all that. So I wanted to have a different variety, a different brand, and plant it this time somewhere else in the garden in case there's a drainage issue, or I don't know. I mean, it could be anything. You know, it could be the soil. We have to have the soil tested again this year. So it could be anything, but anything that gave me an issue last year is not coming back this year, and the new stuff is going to be planted even in a different area of the garden to see if I can figure out where it grows the happiest. So tomatoes is next. These are from Burpee. I think I got these at Tractor Supply. These ones that are Burpee that aren't in the green packs, I got at Tractor Supply. This one is a thick, meaty flesh, perfect for sauces, canning, and drying. And it's an indeterminate tomato, which is fine because we have trellises that we bought. I think we have 20 or 25 cattle panels, and we're going to be moving those around in the garden. The tomatoes are something else that we didn't get a huge crop of either last year. Now we got a ton, but the ones that are more the paste tomatoes to make sauces and that kind of stuff, we didn't get a bunch of those. So this is an indeterminate tomato plant, and that's fine because we'll put up the cattle panels with the T-post, and it can grow to its heart's content. So this one is Gardener's Delight. These are cherry tomatoes. I grew these last year. They are from Dollar Tree. Now I'll tell you mostly what this tomato did for us last year is I had it right on the end of the row where all the tomatoes were. And what I would do when I was out in the garden and I was working, if I was out there for a while and I got hungry, I would grab a handful of these and pull one of the bunching onions and rinse the onion off with my bottle of water, and I would have tomatoes and onions and snack on that while I worked out in the garden. Because when it starts getting hot, you've got to use all the time that you can use in the mornings and in the evenings when the temperature is at the coolest to be able to not die in the heat, basically. Okay, so I have Burpee Tomato Super Beefsteak. This is an indeterminate tomato too. It's a slicing tomato. And these are supposed to be disease resistant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start these early. I'm going to start them early inside. And I'm going to get them growing and see exactly how they do. They're supposed to be started, it looks like 8 weeks before planting outdoors. So I want to get these started and see how they do, and maybe I'll plant a couple of more packs of these. And then I have 4 packs of Roma tomatoes. These are for, you know, sauces and that kind of stuff. So I have 4 packs of these. It says container variety, but I'm not going to plant them in a container. They'll go into the garden as well. These are my flowers. I'll go over my flowers some other time. These are the herbs that we have so far. We have cilantro from Burpee. Pretty sure I picked these up at Walmart. We have cilantro from Dollar Tree. With the cilantro from the Dollar Tree. We have lavender from Burpee. We have lavender from the Dollar Tree. I didn't try to grow lavender from the Dollar Tree last time, but I am going to this time. We have chives from Burpee. And we have basil from Burpee, or from Dollar Tree. I did grow this last year, and this stuff grows like crazy. It was all the way to the weekend that we had frost. We had our first frost, and I still had basil out there. It was crazy. But I have several more herbs that I am going to get to go in the garden. Now, my plan is to grow a tea garden. Now, that will have to be a whole separate video where I can explain exactly what that means. But I am going to grow a tea garden. I'm also going to grow a garden closer to our house, which a lot of people call it a kitchen garden. The garden is way over there, and, you know, I have to either walk over there, which it's far, and if I am harvesting anything, I have to carry baskets and that kind of stuff. So basically I have to go to the barn, get the golf cart, and then drive over to the garden to get whatever. Well, I want to use that over there for large harvest times. And over here, closer to our house, I want to plant like maybe a 50 by 50 square garden closer to our house that I can use as a kitchen garden, and that way I can just run out the door, grab what I need if I'm cooking, and come right back in and not have to go through all of the, you know, going to get the golf cart, driving over and unhooking the gate and going into the garden. And, you know, it just, and maybe that seems lazy. It's really not lazy. It's just using my time efficiently. And I want to make sure that I have a garden that is closer to our house, so I'm able to just run out and grab stuff whenever I want to. So I'll show you let's see, where is, right there. So that's the seeds. This, I went to Shirley's Feed over in town, and I got this 10-pound bag of red potato seeds. They look really, really good. They're nice and healthy. Now, when we go to plant these potatoes, this is a lot of potatoes. 10 pounds is a lot of potato seeds. When we go to plant these, you'll see the eyes on these potatoes. What we'll do is cut the potato either once or twice, depending on how big they are. A potato this size, we'll just plant in the garden the way it is. A potato this size, we are going to get maybe 3 plants out of this. The ones that we're going to cut, we'll cut them and then wait a day or 2 before we're going to plant them, and give them time to heal over, like the cut, give them time to heal over, dry up a little bit, and then we'll plant them. But I also want to grow baking potatoes, and they did not have those seeds in yet. So I went ahead and got these while they were there. They only had 3 bags of these. So I went ahead and got this bag. And you can see I paid $5.45 for 10 pounds of seed potatoes. And a lot of the potatoes are this size. So I will get maybe 2 or 3 plants from this. And then the ones that are this size, you know, there'll be 1. So I'm going to get a huge amount of potatoes from this 10-pound bag. So I was really excited about that. Now, we don't have a greenhouse because, well, we still have the frame. The frame held up very well. It never came up out of the ground. And it did a really good job. The fabric, on the other hand, it tore in several places. It's not in as bad a shape as I thought it was, but it is in bad shape. We can, you know, we can piece it to use it here and there for other things. You know, to make a makeshift greenhouse, which we are working on right now because I really, really need something. But I've always wanted to order a green stalk. If you're not familiar with what a green stalk is, I can show you. Let me click on it, and hopefully it will be big enough that you will be able to see it. Okay. This is a green stalk. What it is layers of, you know, stackable, you know, it's layers of stackable pots with multi pots in it. So it's a 5-tier vertical garden planter for growing strawberries, vegetable, herbs, flowers, whatever, and it comes in different colors. And this is what it looks like when you have it all planted out and all of that. Well, I myself am not willing to pay $156.58 for this green stalk. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me. Yeah, I'm just not going to do that. But I do love this concept. I love that concept so much. it's beautiful. I love the way it grows. You pour water in the top and it trickles down into all of the plants. So when I was doing my shopping for the garden for this season, and I was picking up different things that I knew that we were going to need for our garden, I found at the Dollar Tree these stackable pots that look a whole lot like that, and they were $1.25 each. So I can show you how they work. So you have, okay, so to begin with, it has these little dots in the bottom here that you will poke out, and that will be for drainage, and they're on all of them. So you sit that there, and then they have this little groove on the bottom, these little grooves all the way around, all three of them, and that's what makes them stack. So what we'll do is get it on there, right? So I am going to plan to stack these 6 high and see how tall that makes this. Okay, so we have these stacked up, and we've got them up to, we've got 6. So I don't know if you can see from the top of that, but that's how tall it is. Okay, so instead of buying that horribly expensive green stalk, I bought 2 sets of 6 of these, and I'm going to plant a lot of stuff in this. These are at Dollar Tree. They're $1.25 each. They stack really good. So this is my plan. This is what I'm going to use instead of spending that money on a green stalk, which I wouldn't do anyway. But I'm going to buy one of the round planter, I don't know, whatever. It's got 3 wheels on the bottom of it, and it catches the water. So I'm going to buy 1 or 2 of those, one for each set of these, and plant this out. I have my dirt over here. In my calendar, I have things that need to be started, when they need to be started, and all of that. And so I am going to use these. They take up much less space than the typical cell trays. I don't have anywhere to put all of that right now. So this is going to be a great alternative for that. And also, it didn't cost me $150 whatever dollars that was. But they also had, the lady was just putting out the stuff for spring. So I was real excited that I was there because stuff goes pretty quickly. But they had mini ones. So same thing. Just stack them. Now these I might actually put by my sink in the kitchen. I don't have a window to sit them in. I don't have a window that has a ledge that big, but or a windowsill that big. So I am going to use these to maybe sit in my kitchen. That's the closest place I can get to a window, really. Yeah, that's about the closest place I can get to a window. But this is the mini one. It's roughly probably 1.5 feet tall. So, and there's what it looks like on the inside. So I'm going to fill these with dirt, and I think I'm going to start a lot of my herbs in this. So I was really excited for that. And next I will show you our garden plans and my calendar. Okay, these are the two main books that I wanted to show you guys. This is how I have our gardens organized, the garden plans, and my calendar. I have an Excel spreadsheet where I have everything laid out for what I'm going to plant, how much I'm going to plant, and what the seeds, all the seeds that I have, and all of that type of stuff. So what I've done is taken that list from my Excel spreadsheet and created these two books so I know when to start the seed, where to start the seed, if it needs to be started indoors or outdoors, and when it needs to be started. So you'll notice that, so we're going to go over to February. My dahlia and snapdragon seeds need to be started inside, and I need to start those about 8 weeks before the first frost. All of these dates are anywhere between 4 and 8 weeks before the first frost. So this week, on Saturday, I'll be starting my bell peppers. Those need to be started, I think it was 10 weeks before the first frost. So I'll start those. So this calendar just shows me exactly what needs to be planted and if it needs to be planted indoors or outdoors. Now, last year I struggled a lot with my time management out in the garden. I was overwhelmed and basically wanted to burn this place down because I was so stressed out trying to work in the garden 90% of the time by myself, because Mark is still working full time. So I take time from him when he is able to give it. I'm more than grateful for the time that he can help me in the garden. But it was so overwhelming, but I was trying to work 6 gardens by myself, and I was doing it every single day, and I hate the heat. I would just about rather do anything than be hot, and the hotter it got in the summer, and the more the bugs started coming on, and the more things started not working, I was getting really frustrated. So this year I'm going to manage my time better. What's on my calendar is what I'm going to deal with and all I'm going to deal with. And I've dedicated Saturdays to garden, which will be fruits and vegetables. And Fridays are going to be dedicated to my flower gardens, the flowers and trees, flower arranging for the farmers markets. That is going to be my Fridays. So I know that Friday is flowers. I know Saturday is vegetables and fruits. And during the week, most likely on, I haven't really picked that day yet, but most likely on Wednesdays, I will do weeding. I'll do weeding and do the best I can. I cannot get every single weed out of the garden, and last year that was my problem. I spent so much time trying to get the weeds under control and keep things cut back, and I'm not doing it this year. So I'm going to order the weed cover that goes in the garden. I am going to cover my gardens completely with that, except the flower gardens, because a lot of the flowers I planted last year will come back this year. But I am going to start out with fresh, clean gardens that have the weed cloth or the weed fabric on the ground in the beginning, and I'm not going to drive myself crazy over that. So I'm hoping that that's going to cut down a lot of the time that I have to spend weeding out in the heat. So you can see this is February. This is March. I have some flowers that need to go out in March. And I have in April, I have all of this stuff. These things will be going out into the garden that will be direct sown. That's why it's all the way in April, which is, you know, close to our last frost date. Our last frost date is actually supposed to be March 30th, but if you are a gardener, you know not to count on that. They can say the 30th, but you know, last year we had frost 2 weeks after our last frost date, so you want to be real careful with that. And so what I'm doing, instead of using the 30th, March 30th as our last frost date, I'm going to give it a few days and use, I'm going to use April 1st as our last frost date. And that means that I will start my seeds on that very next Saturday, which is the 8th. So that gives us 8, 9, 10. That's 10 days past our last frost date. So that's how this book is organized. This is my calendar. And I am going to go by it no matter what, because I can't. I was so overwhelmed and so upset last year that I can't do that kind of stuff again this year. So I am trying to do my best to make really good plans for this year. So this is our garden plan book. This is our garden plans. So in here, what you will see is, this is our garden plans. So this is going to be, this is a flower garden. This is a flower garden, and it shows when I planted these things. The tulips, daffodils, and Dutch iris have already been planted because, you know, they grow all winter to be ready for, we hope, Mother's Day. And then this is actually a design of our gardens. We recently planted some willow trees along the fence line next to our rose bushes over in the garden. I'm planning on making a lot of flower arrangements this year for the farmers markets. And supposedly the willow bushes that we bought, they grow super fast. So we'll see if any of them are ready, you know, to go in those flower arrangements. But I do want to use those in flower arrangements, even if they're not ready till next year. We have here is our potato garden, our corn garden. This is onions, garlic, carrots, cabbage, and bok choy garden. This is a flower garden. It's a 50 by 30. This is going to be where my tea garden is going to go. These are our fruit trees. This is a flower garden that's over by the fence when you come into our property. This is our main vegetable garden, and you can see here that we are going to be expanding that garden. We're going to be expanding that garden another 50 feet because we want to maximize the space over there. This is a flower garden. This is just where our gates are. This is our compost bin. This is a very wet area on our property that we don't think that anything is going to grow in. So that is where we stretch out our silage tarps and let them just you know, hang out there until we're ready to use them. And then this is our wheelhouse. This is real hard to picture unless you're standing over at one of the gates looking into the garden. But this is looking into our garden. This is the gate. This gate right here is the gate from our house. If you walk through our yard and go over to this gate, you can walk through this gate, and then the gardens are laid out exactly the way they look on this sheet over in that field. We are getting pictures made from a drone. So hopefully we'll have those pictures soon, and I can show you a better idea of the way all of this is laid out. And then this is going to be my kitchen garden. I am really excited to have a kitchen garden. So let's go over what I'm going to have. I want the kitchen garden on the end of the, so if you're looking at the house, it would be on the right hand side of our house. There's an area over there where I can have about, it may wind up being like a 30 by 50 foot garden. But I am going to have tomatoes, cucumbers, a bunch of different varieties of bell peppers, lettuce. I'm going to have one squash plant, one zucchini plant, one okra plant, and then on the other side over here is going to be all of my herbs. So I'm really excited for this plan because I want to be able to walk right out the door, take my little harvest basket, and just go and grab the items off this, out of this garden that I need for immediate cooking, not canning or freezing or any type of preserving. I want to be able to grab this when I am cooking. Okay, this is my Excel spreadsheet where I have everything laid out by the name of what it is, the variety, how much I have, when it gets planted, and then in these two rows, it's either if it's planted inside or outside. This is fruits and veggies. This page is fruits and veggies, and I have that color coordinated. Down here is yellow. We'll go over to the herb sheet. This is the herbs that I have currently. Same thing, the type of seed, the variety, how much I have, when they get planted, and if it's planted inside or outside. And then this is my flower sheet. Same thing, type, variety, quantity. When they need to be started, inside or outside. This is the system that I'm using this year. Last year, I just threw seed packets into a plastic bag and brought them in the house, and I had written dates on them when I planted them and how many I planted, and that did not work out well because as soon as they got wet or got dirty or whatever from being out in the garden or whatever, half the time I didn't actually know what was happening with the seeds. So I'm trying to do better about being more organized, and so I am using an Excel spreadsheet to keep up with all of this year. So that's it for this video. I hope that you found something about it that was helpful. This is just how we are choosing to do our gardens, and seeds and planting and calendars and all of that here on our farm. And hopefully you can find a way to make your farm and your gardens work better, so you don't have all of that stress thinking that you have to do everything and everything has to be done at the same time, and it can be real overwhelming. And I hope that something that I showed in this video will give you an idea of how to plan better in your garden if you are needing that. And if you like this video, I ask that you share it on your social media platforms, and you subscribe to our channel so you can see how all this stuff goes for the 2023 garden season. And we look forward to putting out more videos and sharing the things that we're learning, and we'll see you in the next video.